Another day, another corrupt official in the Biden administration ends up getting outed. Take a look at this. Johns Hopkins doctor told her trans army officer wife to stop being a coward and work through her ethical issues to hand over medical information on senior military officials to Russians. Already been charged. So this is already on the fucking books, my guys. Imagine this shit, because there's this stunning and brave trans woman. I'll just let you go ahead and assess that photograph to your own heart's content. And that's the wife. I don't know how this shit fucking works. The wife of a U.S. Army trans officer told her to stop being a coward and to overlook ethical issues when the couple tried to hand over medical records with the senior military officials and their families to a Russian government. Major Jamie Lee Henry. Not like another famous Jamie Lee that's out there that was born with both sets of plumbing. Okay. And Johns Hopkins, Dr. Anna Gabrielian, whatever. That just goes to show you, you married a tranny and you didn't take his, her, that's last name. Sucks to suck, I guess. Were accused of using the secret security clearance at North Carolina's Fort Bragg to steal the records of the base hospital, according to the Department of Justice. Fort Bragg is among one of the most populated military installations in the world, housing about 52,000 active duty soldiers. But again, Putin's terrible, and you need to get him the information because that's bad. A couple from Rockville, Maryland, of course, had communicated and met an undercover FBI agent who they believed was a Russian embassy. Oh, from the Russian embassy, sorry, in order to deliver the files that the Kremlin could exploit. According to the indictment, which was unsealed on Thursday, Gabrielian said she was motivated by her patriotism to Russia, with Henry using her clearance as a staff interest to help secure the files. My point of view is until the United States actually declares war against Russia, I'm able to help out as much as I want. Henry allegedly told the undercover agent when they met up to set up a deal in August. At that point, I have some ethical issues I'll have to work through. You'll work through those ethical issues, Gabrielian allegedly replied, adding that Henry was a coward over the fears of breaking HIPAA. Yeah, that and treason laws. Wonder if this nut job will be, both of them, actually, for engaging in this fucking degeneracy. Will they be able to be housed in the same federal facility? Because, that's a stunning and brave woman that we have right there with a functional penis, I bet, too. According to the indictment, Gabrielian, an instructor of anesthesiology and critical care medicine at Hopkins, was an undercover agent on August 17th, and that she was motivated by patriotism towards Russia. So again, an army officer, okay, somebody who had to ascend the ranks of just the normal rank and file of the United States Armed Forces, was engaging in such treasonous activity. Huh, weird. Wonder how they got that position. I wonder if it had anything to do with their midlife crisis of saying, well, I just like my wife's clothes just a little bit more than I used to. Johns Hopkins' profile of Gabrielian shows that she speaks Russian and earned her medical degree at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine in 2012. She married Henry. Who's Henry? In 2015, the same year, the major officially came out as transgender. Aww. Gabrielian allegedly told the agent that Henry had not only access to medical information at the military base, but also insight on how America was training the military to provide assistance to Ukraine. Of course, this is starting to get a little bit more spicy. During the meeting, Henry allegedly told the agent that she had tried to enlist to fight for Russia against Ukraine. Henry explained to the undercover agent that were there committed to assisting Russia, and he had looked into volunteering to join the Russian army after the conflict with Ukraine began, but Russia wanted people with combat experience and without mental conditions, just saying, and he didn't have any. Wait a minute. Okay, looking to join, but you're an army officer, but you didn't have any combat experience. Interesting. Henry further stated, the way I'm viewing what is going on with Ukraine now is that the United States is using the Ukrainians as a proxy for their own hatred towards Russia. Well, I guess a broken clock can be right once a day. By August 31st, Gabrielian met with the agent in the hotel at Gaithersburg, Maryland, offering medical records of a spouse from a service member at the Office of Naval Intelligence and relative? No, that's a relative from an Air Force veteran. Again, spell check. Come on. Gabrielian highlighted to the undercover agent a medical issue reflected in the records of military member's spouse that Russia could exploit. During the August 31st meeting, Henry also handed over medical information on 5 patients at Fort Bragg, including a retired Army officer, a Department of Defense employees and spouses, active and deceased veterans. Okay, I don't know if that would be relevant, at least off the top of my head, but okay. According to the indictment, the couple had allegedly spoke with the agent about contingency plans for their family should the operation be exposed. Gabrielian suggested a cover story for the interactions and a play for Gabrielian and Henry's children. Wow, those kids are in a tough spot for multiple reasons. Flee the United States quickly if Gabrielian and Henry were told to act in a way that could expose their communications and actions to the United States government. The indictment reads, the anesthesiologist told the agent to help their children get a nice flight to Turkey to go on vacation because I don't want to end in jail here with my kids being hostages over my head. Well, you won't really have a say in any of that stuff. And again, if those pictures managed to make the rounds, Henry at a pride event, I don't think that that's wife had exclusive access on it. Just judging by the picture right there. But yeah, very much a dude for a very long time. It shows Henry has been, treating U.S. service member as a doctor and internist for 17 years. 17 years. And was just caught now engaging with Russia with all the hysteria that surrounded it. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Why now? I guess this kind of paints Russia in a bad light. Unless they came forward with the rest of this story, okay? Because I don't know how well that would play in Ukraine if a trans person came forward to help Russia, because their appreciation for the rainbow community isn't exactly as strong as the people that are supporting Ukraine would like them to have. Let's just say they like to throw parties for the alphabet community. Heavy emphasis on the throw, though. 2015, Henry was reported to be the first known active duty Army officer to come out as transgender. In May of 2015, the Army granted Henry requests to officially change her name and gender, with the Army using female pronouns in its filing. Well, again, we've seen the picture before. Very stunning and brave. At the first time for the Army, which has long maintained that being transgender or being diagnosed with gender dysphoria is incompatible with the military and grounds for dismissal. Yeah, well, if you're more concerned with shit like that, how concerned are you going to be with bullets and live rounds flying past you or your platoon mates' heads? Let's just go ahead and reconcile that for a moment. Henry joined the ROTC at the age of 17 and had been treating service members as a doctor and internist for 17 years since her first rotation at Walter Reed. The major had previously touted the Army and its leadership for accepting her identity as a transgender woman, and now the military is going to have to reconcile that. Oh good, we're so inclusive, we even got traitors on board. I was blown away. First, the stereotypes that I held growing up in the South, growing up fundamentalist Christian family, that he would automatically think I was the freak. Would automatically think you need to be discharged just like the regs recommend. My commander said, I don't care who you love, I don't care how you identify. I want you to be healthy and I want you to be able to do your job. So nice the Army cares about stuff like that. And you've seen throughout the cartoon ads and all the animations that are out there to make sure that the strongest girl with the best 2 mommies out there that raised her right. Well, not right, left, because if she was raised right, she'd be a transgender Nazi. Don't try to work that out in your head. Meanwhile, the enlistment ads from, we'll just go with Russia. They look awfully grim and brutal and contain a group of exclusively manly men. So prior to 2015, old Henry here probably would have fit into those ranks, but not so much anymore. Don't expect the people that you're trying to conspire with, to really help out with your current predicament. They aren't necessarily going to be all that welcoming for you. But hey man, if for some strange reason Russia wants to indict you on this type of stuff, probably have another trade chip in order to try to get Brittany Griner back. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.